Got it. Okay, this should be going live. Let me just make sure it's on the pages. Yep, you guys are live on the webpage, so and I'll make sure it clicks to the event so you can go ahead.
We are live.
Yep. Right now we're live on the web page, so I will link that to the event.
Roxane, do you want to start?
You need to turn this way so we can see your face, LaToya.
I'm sorry. I was trying to get the computer. Let me pull my computer back. So I was trying to do this at the same time. Can you see me?
Yep, we can see you now.
Okay. I was trying to
Good.
get the computer thing working right.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Roxane Johnson.
And I'm sorry.
My son's name is Jamal Bird, and my co-host is.
My name is LaToya Benton. My son was Xavier Hill, killed January the 9th by Virginia State Police. And I'm sorry, like I said, I cut you off. I did that like last week too. Can you please tell us as well who had killed Jamal as well?
Yep, my son's name is Jamal Bird. He was killed by DC Metropolitan Police on October the 1st, 2019. And so
we have Jamal Bird and Xavier. Go ahead.
Yes, and so we're here, Life After the Impact. This is a weekly podcast that we've been producing for impacted families, by impacted families, to give families a chance to talk about life after the impact and the suffering and the heartache, but more importantly, the legal actions that we're taking to stay in the fight for justice for our loved ones. This weekend, this Tuesday, we don't have a guest, but we thought we would take this opportunity to reiterate, to kind of give you a feel for what it is we're we're going to accomplish, because as long as we fight, we will win with this podcast. And so what we want to do with this podcast is to help families not only to fight for justice, but we also want to help them to point them in the right direction, to give them tools. Sometimes, the way that this so-called justice system is set up, it makes it so convoluted, and can be so intimidating that families don't even want to try, or they feel defeated before they even start. So we're putting some things in place to help with that. On tomorrow, we will have a Google form on the Life After Impact page in Facebook, where families can fill out that information. And once you fill out that information, we'll get in contact with you. We'll have what we call a pre-interview to find out what it is that is going on with your case, what actionable items we have, or how we can help you to come up with some actionable items to continue your fight. I'll turn it over to LaToya at this point.
So I just want to touch briefly, as we all know, like Mayor Roxane said, we don't have a guest this week. The goal itself was to have a guest every week. We have all been watching the news. Some of us have watched the video. Some of us have chosen not to watch the video. I myself have chosen not to watch the video. I don't want to see it. I know, we're to the point now of how many videos we need to share before we actually begin to stay in the fight for justice. The point of us forming this podcast, yes, it is we want to hear the stories, right? We want to hear the stories. We want to know exactly what happened to our relatives. Yes, we want to know, what are we doing, you guys, about the fight? How many stories do you guys want to hear? Are we tuned into the podcast to hear how many guests we have? Because that's horrible. If we have an abundance of guests to the point we have too many guests, that says a lot about society, right? And it says a lot about what the work we have to do as impacted families. We shouldn't be on the podcast just to see, hey, whose case is here, who are not. It's not a matter of, we got to also stop celebritizing the cases. No one here, its case is more important than the next person's case. Yes, it is a shame that the media takes these cases and they will celebritize certain cases, right, Roxane? They'll certain ones, they'll have more. We know, we get it. They get more media attention. Okay, we understand that. But at the end of the day, are we looking for the media's attention? Are we looking for real legislative change? The point of the podcast is we want to engage with working families. And we're no one to say someone's working harder than the next person, because we don't know what you guys do in the backdrop. And that's the thing, we don't know what people are doing. So we need to be coming to the forefront and say, hey, we are doing these things, how we can work together collectively so we can begin to make legislative change. Like me and Roxane said, the whole point of the podcast is to find working families. When I say working families, I'm talking about the ones who are in not just the streets protesting, but the ones who are following up with the senators, the congressmen who are so-called making these laws and reform. Talking about reform all the time, okay? The reform laws happen, but who's following up to make sure that the reform laws are actually put into place? That's the problem, is there's no follow-up at all. So I mean, that's what I want to say as of right now. Roxane, you want to go?
And I just to add to what you're saying, LaToya, we absolutely get it. This site is exhausting. In addition to having to grieve your loved one, we get it. We absolutely get it. That in addition to having to grieve your loved one, sometimes you're made to feel guilt and shame, and that might create a situation where you don't want to go down to whoever the DA, the local powers that be. I'm putting that in air quote to put your loved one's name in there and to really investigate it. But that's why the power of community is so important, because we can connect with one another, we can support one another, we can be there for one another. And what they don't want us to do is they don't want us to unite. But too bad, because ain't nothing worse than a mother that's been hurt. Ain't nothing worse than a mother that has been hurt, a father that has been hurt, a family has been hurt. We are not going to stop. We're not going to stop until we get real progress. So what we're asking tonight, we saw the video, or some of us did. I'm like LaToya, I refuse to watch any more Black trauma porn.
It's traumatizing. And people got to realize that with families like us and whatnot, we want to know the details to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, knowing the details, how is that going to help us on the legislative side? You can know every detail about that case, right? But unless we know what we can do collectively on the legislative side, it doesn't help out at all. We have to be able to get to come together collectively. Like, we have to get to work together. It's not about an organization. It's not about an individual. It's not about a single person. It's about us coming together as families, you guys. Even the ones who don't want to fight, and I'm not saying you don't want to fight, you might be in a grievance state. And that's totally okay. But we still need y'all. That's the thing. We're all running out. We're all some of us on a ticking time clock because of how the situation may happen and whatnot. So then we still need to still love on that person, so that person can still be strong, so they can still continue to fight. Don't fight each other. We gotta begin to start fighting together. If y'all don't leave the dads out. We love to say about just the moms, not just the moms. We have families, and whether you're a single mom, you got a two-parent home or not, we got to honor all the families out here losing their kids, not just the moms. We got moms, brothers, uncles, aunts, cousins, brothers. They're all affected by this tragedy. So it's very important to still love all of them, but at the same time, too, make sure we're still working to work.
Absolutely. And just to piggyback on what you're saying, LaToya, I didn't watch the video, but I heard of the interview with this young man's mother. And I felt what she was saying in my soul, you know, when she said that she heard her son asking for his mama. And we all who are parents and who, you know, women who have given birth to children that have been stolen from us. The very earth is crying out for revenge, for revenge. Now they could tell us that, you know, after the violence has been perpetrated, that we need to protest peacefully and don't burn down something and da 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 da. How are you gonna tell us how to respond after you've taken something from us? How are you gonna tell us how to respond when you've taken something from us? And I think, you know, the more that we speak on one voice, that we do this as one voice, the more that they cannot ignore us, and they will have to make changes. They will have no choice but to make changes. And so we're asking you, join us.
That's what we gotta
Connect
do.
with us.
Yeah, yeah. What do you want? What should we be doing? Even if we don't have all the answers, me and Roxane, we're not even trying to have all the answers. That's the beauty about this.
Yeah.
We're trying to figure out where to start as to actually having the answers how about getting things done. We understand we have organizers, we have protesters, right? We get all of that. What is there to be done on the back end so that we can still, who's holding people accountable as far as when the promise is made, right? Who's actually holding the person to still keep their word? That's the main thing. No one's keeping their word. No one's saying, you know, hey, you said this, you just did this. And we're not following up.
Right. We got to hold these people accountable, y'all.
Absolutely.
They're getting paid with our tax dollars.
Yeah.
No, and if you think about it, it's actually we're being oppressed using our own tax dollars.
Yeah.
Our children are being murdered using our own tax dollars, because those people that show up in uniforms have guns that were issued and paid for with our money. And so
we gotta prove to them what we owe justice.
Yes.
Okay.
Minimal. That's a minimal ask. That's a minimal ask.
Right.
Is that you pay for you and your law enforcement agency are accountable and responsible for that which you've done in our community. And so when we stand up as one and we say that, they ain't got no choice but to listen to us. They ain't got no choice. And until they do, we gonna keep on talking. We like LaToya said, we don't have all the answers, but what we do know is that when we speak together, when we join together as community, it's powerful. We are forced to be reckoned with. And so
she put you know, accountability is, you know, the officers being charged or whatever, right? But even still, that's more so actually being charged on a higher level, not 1 or 2 years to give them charges for real. Justice itself is having actually realized systematic change. Y'all can hold somebody accountable, but until you actually are holding that, until you actually put this broken ass system that you guys got going on, that's so you is after this person or whatnot, we're not getting any kind of real justice because you're not changing anything.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yes. The same thing that we witnessed with Tyre Nichols several days ago was witnessed in 1992 with a man called Rodney King. Between 1992 and 2023, ain't a damn thing changed but the calendar.
Absolutely.
And so it's incumbent upon us
to change the things. Yeah.
We are the change we're looking for. And so again, we're asking you this evening. We know how you feel because we feel the same way.
Feel the same way.
Instead of us getting mad and going in our little corner, going in our little silo. No, let's come together and figure this thing out and make some real change happen. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, we'll have a Google form available for you on the Life After Impact website. Fill that form out. We'll get that form and we'll call you and we'll do what we call a pre-interview to talk to you about what's going on with your case and seeing how we can collectively as a community move forward, because that's what's needed. I don't know about nobody else. You might hear in my voice, I feel some kind of way. And what you hear is a mother who is sick and tired of hearing about other people losing their children needlessly. Oh, this system is working just as it's supposed to work. But we had the power to change this.
And y'all be sure to make sure it is the same way that like y'all know out there in the community that you live in. We all saw that when the national news hit certain stories, the communities, they come out. So these people that clearly not in hiding, make your community come out. And the community can come out for people in other states. Your community can come out for your family as well, right here in your backyard.
Yeah.
Because it can happen to the person that happens to next door to you. That's the main thing you gotta realize and whatnot. We're asking you guys to please visit the Life After Impact page on Facebook. We're gonna build one for Instagram as well. Please go out and book a form as far as what you're doing in your city, in your state, that we can help with on a daily basis. We're not talking about just hanging up at night and not be able to help out tomorrow. It has to be a consistent thing, and you have to consistently work at this. It's not just we hanging up. Y'all know they'll protest one day. They might protest for a week. You might get a good month out of them. You know it. But when it comes later on, 6 months down the line, no one's doing anything. We got to continue to work. So we're asking you guys to help us as moms. These are 2 moms here. We're asking you guys, what else can we do? What do we need to do to actually make progress on the legislative side?
Mm-hmm. Asha. And I think what I would like to say as a closing remark, power concedes nothing without pressure. Power concedes nothing without struggle. Power concedes nothing. And so I don't know about nobody else. We ready to fight. And we're ready to not just to fight, but to win justice for our babies, because they deserve that. They deserve that.
They deserve that pressure, Roxane. I mean, I don't have to follow up with that. Like you said, it's the power. You already know the power of the people, you guys. So once again, we're asking you all again, y'all have Facebook. The power of Facebook, the power of people is phenomenal. We're not asking us to have conversations. We like everybody, like, okay, we want to talk to everybody, but we're not talking on a level where we're making actual change. We're not having the right conversations. That's the thing. Let's stop getting out here in the streets and protest, and let's actually have real live change. Let's figure it out. We don't know the answer to that. That's fine. Yeah. But we're working to figure those answers out. All right, so you guys, next week again, 9 o'clock, we'll put on the page who we're gonna have as far as our special guests is gonna be concerned. Roxane, you want to iterate one more time about that form on Google?
There's a form that's going to be placed on Google tomorrow morning by our wonderful producer. She's going to put a Google form out there for Life After the Impact. Families can fill out that form and submit it. We'll take a look at it. We will contact you, and we will move forward to helping you with your action too. Until next time.
All right, till next time, you guys. Good night.
Good night.